Up next, we have Mary. Mary is, in my opinion, I think the most fascinating person, for me anyways. Um, Objectively speaking, Natalie may be the most interesting person, but Mary to me is the most interesting person. Just like Natalie, she is not 100% Hong Konger. She's half Hong Konger, half another country. So she's mixed, basically. She can speak 5 languages, I think. Cantonese, Mandarin, English, Thai, and Korean. So now you may have a couple of ideas. What what is her ethnicity? But only a couple. I won't specify any further. But she's actually really fluent in speaking English. Very smooth American accent. Just like my accent now. Her voice, it's magical. It's so soothing and so smooth and slippery. It's very seductive, not gonna lie. Speaking of seductive, she is, I mean, I don't know her really well, but she's horny. She's really horny. Like, maybe hornier than Natalie. Like, but then again, I don't know her that well. She's also very nice. She's also a very nice person, and also one of the most artistic person I've ever known. She is actually one of the reasons why I have developed my own artistic style when I, write movie scripts and direct my own movies and short films. Because one time I asked her, do you think I'm kind of dumb and crazy? And she's like, no, I think it's just your style. And I'm like, oh man. But yeah, speaking of which, Mary is gross. I mean, she's not gross, like unhygienic gross. I think she's very, very hygienic, but she's also naughty. Like, she likes getting her hands dirty. She likes. I don't know why, but she gives me the vibes that she likes playing with spit. I don't know why. She's a very gross person. She likes mixing uncanny foods together and eat them and be like, tastes good. Yeah. And when Mary gets angry, she gets angry. You don't want to mess with her, okay? You don't want to mess with her. But I guess the most special thing about Mary is that she can read people really well. I mean, she's basically telepathic. Every time she stares into your eyes, her eyes are like black holes and they sort of suck you in. And for some reason, she would learn something about you without you saying anything to her. She can read people. It's crazy. Anyways, now we have her friend Karoline, who is a little plus-sized and is also full of drama. She's a drama queen, basically. And for a while, Mary and Karoline had been friends, with, of course, a few arguments in between. Ever since Form 5, Mary and Karoline stopped being friends. They parted ways and they didn't like each other that much. And Karoline had said some harsh things to me as well, but also had said some really friendly and nice things to me as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Karoline's also like slightly suicidal, I guess. But then again, if you don't want to kill yourself, you're weird. So you kind of have to, right? Moving over, we have Wendy. Now, Wendy is a tanned skin girl who seems to be a very normal, playful girl who is just a girl. But actually, there are a couple of things about her that is actually very curious. That makes me curious. Like her arms being full of bruises. I don't know if this is a natural thing, or maybe someone hits her arms, or maybe she hits her own arms constantly, but it's full of bruises. And when I ask her, why the hell are there bruises on your arms all the time, she's like, take a guess. And she had never answered me. That's 4 years ago. That's 5 years ago. Another thing is that she is, I don't know her that well, but I didn't know that she's this politically outspoken. So much so that one time during a morning protest, she was actually unfortunately arrested by the frickin' cops. alongside with 4 other people. And of course, me and the rest of the entire school were really concerned for her and the other 4. And yeah, I hope she's alright. But it seems that she's alright. So that's pretty cool. Next we have Queenie. She is the queen of speed. She runs really fast. She's very athletic. She's strong. She's tomboyish. She's violent. She likes beating people up. She's like Linda, but the more evil and sinister version. She's also kind of crazy in that she wants to kill herself. But then again, it's totally normal. And she's also really good at drawing. Like, her drawings are really beautiful. She should become a mangaka. Like, she's a huge weeb. And she had been in a relationship with Harry for quite some time until they had a very ugly breakup, which I'm going to address very soon. Harry. So Harry is the guy who dated Queenie for a while, and one time I saw this box cutter cover, and I played with it, and Harry was like, thank God it isn't a box cutter, because if it is, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And he says it seriously. But aside from that, Harry's just a chill kid. He's just a chill guy. He used to be really good at doing exams and stuff, even though he's not like that smart or anything. But he's still a really chill dude. He's still a funny guy sometimes. He doesn't talk with people all that much, but you know, he's chill. Up next we have Anne, another really small girl. Loli, dare I say. And also Tsundere. She is the definition of a Tsundere. Like, she just insults people left and right and call people dumb, call people stupid. She has high standards for men. But also, even though she's a really small, pure, innocent girl with a very high-pitched voice, she has a really strange background as well. Again, she acts strange. She always acts like she knows something, but then tries to avoid it. And apparently she has a pretty strange past as well, which I'm not sure of because I'm not an all-knowing god. But apparently Anne had changed. I'm not even gonna say it. I respect her privacy. Yay. Yeah, Anne is a bit of a drama person. Like, she had argued with tons of people as well throughout the years. And she had huge emotional moments throughout the years as well. And then we have her friend Olivia. To put it in simple words, Olivia is not human. She is not human. Yes, she's another cute lolly girl, but she's not human. She doesn't know how to socialize with people, and she doesn't know how to speak. Her voice, like, she has a very slight lisp, and I think she has a throat problem, and her voice is like kind of trembly, but she's extremely smart, like scarily smart. Either that or she's just really good at memorizing things, because she's also one of those really smart top students, and she just knows everything. If you give her a book, she can scan the entire book and remember every single thing. She's actually really scary. And yeah, there's that. Olivia's boyfriend Kingsley is a tall, handsome, charismatic dude, also extremely, frighteningly smart, another top of the class kind of person, straight A's kind of person. He is, not only is he smart, he's also very strong, he's fast, athletic, he's good at playing volleyball, and he is a huge pervert. He is probably the most perverted person I have ever encountered. He likes to finger girls and also does other sexual things with girls. And he's a huge lolicon as well. And yeah, he's a very nice dude, but you know, he has secrets of his own as well, which I totally respect. Yeah, sitting beside him is fun. Also, I forgot to mention that no one's harem can defeat the harem that Kingsley had created for himself. His harem is insane, okay? He has so many girls around him. So up next we have Andy. Andy is a friend of Kingsley's, and they have been friends for quite some time now. But Andy is easily the most dangerous person out of the entire gang of them. Their gang of friends. Andy is dangerous, and that again, for privacy reasons, I won't reveal too much. But basically, he made a, I think, sex tape of sorts with his ex-girlfriend, and he kind of used it to blackmail her. It's crazy. And it's all rumors, by the way. Like, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't asked the guy directly. Like, why the hell would I do that? That's like suicide. But yeah, Andy's a dangerous dude. And he's not like evil or anything. Like, when I speak to him, he's still kind of chill. But he's got his problems too. Up next we have Ernest, who is the best person in that gang of friends. Kingsley, Andy, Ernest, Ronald, Dean, Grant, Edward, they're all friends. Ernest, however, is the best one of the bunch, in my opinion. He is actually the kindest, the nicest folk of the bunch. A lot of people didn't want to speak to him all that much, simply because on the surface, Ernest sounds like a really, really mean person, because he has a pretty nasty mouth. Like, he swears a lot, he insults people left and right, he's loud, he's noisy and naughty and nasty. He says all these perverted sexual jokes, but actually in the inside he is extremely nice. I think I sat beside him or in front of him for a while, and he was absolutely nice of a person, and it's awesome talking to him. Like, for a period of time I was pretty like antisocial in class, and he's one of the first few people who I'm actually comfortable speaking to. So shout out to Ernest. Next up we have Ronald. And Ronald is also one of the more problematic person in that gang of friends. My first point is that he is Mary's first boyfriend, at least in the secondary school life. Mary's first boyfriend, Ronald. I don't trust like that. Also, Ronald's a really tall dude, tan skin, very athletic, strong, chill, chill vibes. And he's very manly. Like, he's very masculine of a person. Kingsley's also very masculine. I mean, the whole gang is all very masculine, but Ronald is one of the more masculine ones. He sounds like the kind of guy who would collect knives, and he's exactly the kind of guy who would watch football matches and basketball matches and actually care about it, because he's just radiating testosterone at this point. But Ronald, I don't know what kind of secrets he hide, but from what I have gathered, what information I've gathered, he's actually a bit of a complicated person in the inside. Like, he's actually kind of dangerous. But of course, in comparison to Natalie and Keith and Jeffrey and yeah, he's not that dangerous, but still a little bit, just a little bit. Up next we have Grant, who is also one of the members of that gang of friends, and he's one of the more friendlier ones, and he and I were actually kind of friendly to one another. I won't say he's a close friend of mine, but given that his girlfriend is Natalie and Natalie is my friend, I and Grant are also kind of friends with one another, kinda. And yeah, there's not much to say about Grant. He's also not 100% Hong Konger. He's half Hong Konger, half Southeast Asian. I won't specify which country. Same goes for Natalie. Natalie is 37.5% Hong Konger, 50% a specific country in Southeast Asia, and then 12.5% Peruvian. Yeah, there's that. Grant is a really normal person. He's really normal. But he wants to study psychology when he grows up. But I don't know if he has the, the brains for it, Oliver is also one of the members of that gang of friends, and Oliver is best boy, okay? Oliver is best boy. No one can persuade me otherwise. Oliver is best boy, okay? I've known him ever since Form 1, and he has always been this really funny, cute little dude. And like he's, I don't know, but hanging out with Oliver is like, it's like hugging a teddy bear when you're on your bed. It's really comfortable because Oliver is the kind of person who would joke around, and Oliver is kind of dumb, but I mean it in a good way. Like he's not some evil, smart schemer like Jeffrey or Keith. He's just a kid who wants to live a chill life, Oliver. Shout out to Oliver. It just sucks for Oliver because Oliver was somehow indirectly involved in all sorts of drama, even though he's not a drama person at all. Still, he is a really cute, funny boy, and no one can persuade me otherwise. Up next, we have Edward. And Edward is a huge drama person. He's a huge drama person. And Edward has crushes on almost every girl in the whole school. He's colorblind. He's not exactly the nicest person ever, not the meanest either. Used to be friends with Keith until Keith betrayed him. Used to be friends with Tom until Tom joined another gang. Used to be friends with Jeffrey until Jeffrey left, basically. Not really left, but changed to another class, And Edward seems like a really chill, normal person, but for some reason he wants to study philosophy for university. I don't even know why. And Edward used to be friends with Tom, so let's talk about Tom. Tom is a good person. He is a good person. Even though in the beginning I've always thought he's not a good person because he was friends with Jeffrey and Keith. So I thought, oh, maybe Tom is also a bit of a schemer, a bit of a calculated, shady backstabber. But actually, I was wrong. Tom is actually a nice dude. I and him, we don't talk a lot, but every time we talk, it's cool, Up next, we have Miriam. And Miriam is a girl that I met in Form 3, and we were pretty friendly to one another for a while until sometime afterwards we just stopped being friendly to one another. We just forgot about one another, basically. But on the surface, she seems like a really innocent girl, again. And but in the inside, she's actually a bit of a thinker. She's a bit of a philosopher. Like, when I was chatting with her, I don't know how did this conversation begin, but at some point I was like, oh, sometimes I think if everything around me is fake, maybe we live in a simulation. And she's like, yeah, I think about that sometimes. And sometimes we talk about people like Tyrus, and then Miriam would go, oh yeah, I don't like Tyrus because Tyrus, he's a very arrogant person. And I'm like, oh, I don't know that. And then I asked Miriam about Jordana, and Miriam's like, yeah, I think Jordana is a very fake person. I think Jordana is not like a really trustable person. And so yeah, Miriam is a bit of a thinker in the inside. And she's also very caring. She likes caring people. She should become a social worker, basically. I mean, she wants to be a social worker. She likes talking to people and helping them solve problems. And for the second last person that I'm ever going to be talking about is Nick. Now, Nick is the opposite of interesting. He is the most simple, the most simplistic person I have ever met in my life. And I think, and at first, I kind of don't understand why. because I have been friends with Nick since 4th grade in elementary school. We also study in the same elementary school. And it has been, I think, 10 years or 9 years since we had become friends, and we are still friends nowadays. And we still send each other dank memes and say dumb jokes to one another. We don't talk about drama, serious stuff. We don't talk about secrets, though sometimes we mention it, but like, yeah. And finally, I understand the reason why I'm still being friends with him. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Nick is kind of dumb. Like Nick's not an interesting person, you know. Why would anyone become friends with Nick?" I did, because he's simple. And I don't know why, but sometimes when everything in life is so complicated and messy and chaotic, sometimes you just need a really simple friend. Sometimes you just need a friend who can just joke around and not care about anything. And that's Nick. Nick is also a huge weeb. You know? I wouldn't have watched anime if it weren't for him and my cousin. So, yeah. And at the end, of course, I have to talk about me. Myself. Me. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about when it comes to myself. And, I have my secrets as well, so I would respect my own privacy and not tell everyone everything about myself. I am not crazy, okay? I am not that insane of a person. Like, I won't say that I am the most sane person in school. That would be a lie, okay? I am pretty eccentric and freaky. In forms 1 to 2, so I have 3 phases, right? In forms 1 to 2, I am a paranoid person. I'm paranoid. I'm kind of delusional, but in a good way, because I was delusional, but at the same time, I was also very sensitive towards crazy people. So right off the bat, I can already immediately tell that Jordana is a dangerous person, even though she doesn't act like it, but I can already tell because I can sort of tell, you know? But it's not because I have like supernatural abilities or anything. I don't. Unlike Mary, I cannot read minds. Unlike Jordana, I cannot control people's minds. Unlike Natalie, I cannot mentally assault someone. Unlike Kingsley, I can't build a harem of girls. And unlike Keith, I cannot manipulate people. Unlike Jeffrey, I'm not that power hungry or hardcore of a person. But what I do is I write diaries and I write notes. I used to observe people and I would just write notes about everyone, basically. And I would just collect information. And that is how I got my nickname, Detective. I didn't come up with that name myself. Bernice and Mary came up with this name for me. And I'm actually really happy with this name. At one point, I thought I was special, but I was wrong because I wasn't. I'm just a normal kid with a fascination about the people around me and also a fascination for movies, music, and TV shows. Yeah. A lot of things happened to me. A lot of terrible things happened to me. I mean, my childhood is not bad, okay? It's decent. I rated a strong 6 to a light 7 out of 10, okay? My childhood, it's not that bad. But there are a few random things that had happened to me, a few incidents that made me more and more afraid of socializing with people until at one point at the end of Form 2, this huge thing happened that gave me this fear to socialize. So during Forms 3 to like 5, I was just really afraid to socialize with people. I just get really awkward, embarrassed, I'm really quiet. Whenever I say something, usually it's because it's just a joke. Like I don't express my own feelings and thoughts, and it sucks. If you have feelings, if you have thoughts, you need to express it, man. Because if you don't, it's just gonna accumulate in your mind, and it's gonna suffocate you, and that's a terrible feeling. At one point, I was like periods of times, I was just super alone and sad, and I would be very hopeless. I would write sad poems and sad songs, and I would be very lonely. But I think at around Form 5, I realized that I can't go on. I realized that my loneliness must stop. So I started to actively make friends and actively express my feelings. And even though it's already too late, even though I've already lost the social game, okay, I still managed to get myself a couple of more friends, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I have lost the game. I'm a loser, and I am at the point where I accept that reality. And I think that other people should too, if they are a loser. So yeah, these are all the people that I know in school. There are more, definitely, but these are the most interesting ones and the ones that I want to talk about the most. And yeah, thanks for watching.